Alright guys, Journeyman here. I just wanted to come online quickly and give you my 5 top tips for working with spirit guides, spirit teachers, helpers, ancestors that come into our path from the spiritual realms to assist us with our own journeys, okay? Right, so my tip number 1 is to make sure you establish a decent connection with your guides, okay? This can take a lot of hard work. It can take meditation after meditation or journey after journey and a lot of practice to do this, okay? Be aware your guides are watching you do this and they know how hard you're trying, okay? They know if you go into it for a few minutes and then you come out and you sort of like thing, they're well aware of how hard you're trying to do things, alright? But they are waiting for you. They are waiting to assist you, okay? They want this, they want to make this connection and they want you to be part of the team, alright? One other thing that happens with this as well is people go in with high expectations or different kinds of expectations because of what they hear from other people where they're kind of bragging a little bit about what their guides are. You know, sort of like, oh yeah, I've got this spirit guide, he's a Native American, you know, he's got a big headdress and that, his name's Big Chief Walla Walla or whatever, and Wolf walks by my side. You know, Wolf is by my side every day. People say crap like that all the time, yeah, because it boosts their own ego. And in fact, when they're doing that, they're completely wrong. You should never do that, okay? Because guides don't like it, and what they're doing is they're using their spirit guides as a way to sort of like massage their ego and that. I never sort of refer to my guides and stuff and sort of say who my guides are or anything. It's a personal thing. It's a gift that's for me, okay? Unless my guides tell me to, or if it's to teach someone or to assist someone in some way, I'd always ask their permission first, alright? But never going with too thingy an expectation with it, because it's like, a few years ago I was doing spiritual development with someone and they said to me, oh, they were struggling with their meditations, and I was like, well, what's going on? And they were like, oh, well, you know, I keep going this meditation and there's this guy on a hill, he's a little guy in a suit, and I'm sort of like, he keeps coming in my head, and I'm like, oh, you know, I'm here to meet my spirit guide and you keep popping up, and she kept dismissing it, and eventually nothing was happening, and I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? And no, that's probably your guide and you've just dismissed him. What were you expecting? And they're like, well, you know, I was expecting a fire and I was expecting a Native American to be there and we'd all dance around the totem pole and all that. And I was like, no, your guide can come from any point in history, any race, any sex. They could be dressed any way. You could have a Buddha, you could have a Christian, you could have a Native American, you could have anything. So never ever going with too high an expectation and accept the gift of the teaching that's come to you, okay? Accept the teacher and accept the knowledge and wisdom that they have, because it will be a highly evolved spirit, they will be a compassionate spirit as well, and they want what's best for you. If you're kind of dismissing it, that's a bit offensive to them, and you know, it's going to make them feel a bit low, to be honest with you. It's a bit like if you're doing, if someone's doing like their maths homework and you go along and you're like, oh, I'll help you do that, and then they're like, no, I don't want you. I want the nerdy guy with the glasses over there because he looks really good at it, but you don't look the part, sorry, you know, and you ain't going to make my ego any better. You'd be hurt and upset, and this is kind of thing, and then you won't get that connection, okay? So that's very important. That's my tip number 1, alright? Now, tip number 2. Once you establish that connection, work hard to honour your guide, okay? It's like a friendship, alright? When someone comes into our lives and you're sort of like, I think we're going to be great buddies, you work hard at it. You meet up at places, you go places, you spend time getting to know one another, okay? And this is what we need to do with our guides, alright? And we do this by honouring them, okay? One of the ways you can do it, and this is what I love to do, and I talk about it a lot, is dance your animal, okay? If it's an animal guide that we're talking about, dance your animal. It doesn't have to be to drums, it doesn't have to be to rattles. I mean, it's preferable, like a bit of sage and get the drum out, or a rattle and do it all ceremonially. But you know what? If the radio kicks on in the kitchen and it's Taylor Swift doing her thing, not my sort of music, but you know, if that comes on and you get it, you know, and you start dancing, start imagining that you're becoming your animal, mimic the movements of your animal, you know, if it's a bird, mimic it, okay, and become it and allow your inhibitions to go, okay, and get the blood pumping and become that animal, right? This is a beautiful thing. They absolutely love it. It will strengthen your bond more and more the more kind of mimicry that you can do, okay? Clothing wise, you know, if it's got images of your animal on it, jewellery, ornaments, things like that around the house. Every time you see it, it will kind of be a little reminder to you of your guide. You might see it when you're kind of looking for a teaching. You might see that ornament there, and it will bring something to you, and it brings that energy more and more into your life. Okay, and this is what we're trying to work towards, allowing that power, that energy to come into our life and become a part of us as well. Okay, in order to to learn from the teachings and to pass it on to other people. All right, so there's a lot of other ways you can do it: artwork, poetry, singing songs, soul singing. Just sing whatever comes to you, just let it out. Okay, stop worrying about your ego, stop worrying about people looking at you and feeling like a wally. You know what I mean? I had to stop worrying about that a long time ago. You just do what feels right and comfortable, and you're honouring your guide. You're strengthening that bond more and more all the time. Okay, you're becoming a close relationship, and you're getting to know each other intimately as well. Okay, now the third thing, tip number 3, is learn to listen and pick up on the signs and symbols and messages that your guides and your teachers are offering you throughout the course of the day. All right, stop second guessing things. Allow, when it comes, to take it on board, allow it to soak in, and just sort of utilise it within your path. All right, acknowledge it. Okay, when something happens, don't sort of think, was it, could it have been, sort of when it happens, thank you to my guides, that's a gift from them, that's a teaching from them, I'll see what it means to me, and allow it to sort of come into your life. And the more and more you do that, the kind of veil will thin, and you'll pick up on these things, and other people around you won't realise you're doing it. People don't realise when I'm doing it. I have little things that I do. People don't know I'm doing it. People don't know that I'm looking at nature and stuff like this and picking up on little signs and symbols my guides and my teachers are giving me, because I've got a bond with them where I know how they'll work with me, and they know how to sort of pass signs and messages on to me. Okay, because this is where we've established this point, because we've worked together for so long, got to know each other intimately. They can do this for me, and gradually, more and more you do it, the more and more you'll pick up on these signs and symbols, and you won't need to go to people like me for readings, because you'll just be able to do it yourself. Someone offered me a reading the other day, and I said, you know what, I've never had a reading. I haven't, because I don't need to get one, to be honest with you, because I can do these things for myself. And the more and more you do it, the more and more you accept the teachings and learn to pick up on them, the more and more you can perceive these things for yourself. And that's really what we're aiming to do as spiritual people, is pass on this kind of knowledge so other people can assist themselves on their path without having to look to other people like myself to do these kind of things for them. Okay, right, the next thing, tip number 4, is live a morally sound life. Okay, now this doesn't mean that you've got to be a saint. Now, people know me, they know that I've made my mistakes in the past, everyone knows that. Okay, I'm very open about it. I don't hide it from anyone at all. Okay, I see these as challenges that I had to face up to and needed to stand up to them and overcome them. Okay, some challenges I still face on a daily basis. I'm not a saint, I'm not perfect, I don't try to be, and I don't act like I am either. Okay, none of us are. If you're human, you're not. Alright, but it's important that your guides see that you're trying and you're striving to be a better person. Okay, when you're faced with kind of temptations or anything like that, okay, and you learn to say no, your guides are watching you, and they know how hard you're trying. Okay, they know if you kind of give in easily. Remember that this is often known as a path of a warrior. A warrior doesn't kind of back away from challenges. They face up to them man to man, and they overcome them. Okay, if they fall and they fail, it's not a bad thing to fail, but your guides will see if you pick yourself up and you try again and you keep trying until you get better and better and better. Okay, so try and live a morally sound path. Okay, this also goes into line with where we say we're a hollow bone. Okay, the hollow bone is a clear channel. Alright, if you haven't got any kind of issues, as I say, where it would make you kind of morally sort of dodgy, it makes you a clearer channel to work with them, because you've got to remember, you're working with divine energy, you're working with spiritual energy. It's not going to work with unclean kind of stuff. Alright, so that's my tip number 4. Tip number 5 is just enjoy it. Allow yourself to not be pressurised by communicating with your guides, by working with them. Allow yourself to enjoy the process, allow the friendship to grow naturally and to blossom into the beautiful thing it can be. It's not something that will happen overnight. It's a lifelong process. As you move forward, other guides will come into your path and they will also leave your path. When they're ready to move on, you can't hang on to them. Just let them go, accept them, give thanks. That's another thing as well. There was tip number 6, but we'll make it part of this one. Always give thanks to your guides. Always acknowledge them for the work that they did, okay? This is something that I always do as well. When I'm doing a reading, the information is not me. I'm not this amazing guy that knows all this stuff. It comes direct from my guides. They're the ones that are passing it on. When you're doing healing, it's their power and their energy. It's not yours, okay? When people start to make out it is, again, that's where ego takes over. And it will work. For a little while, it will work fine. But then they'll have a sudden fall and it will all come crashing down, okay? So please remember that, alright? Always give thanks to your guide. Don't allow ego to take over, alright? In the thing where we brag about spirit guides and, you know, as I said, oh, I've got Wolf walking by my side. You know, never do stuff like that. It's really kind of frowned upon. Accept them as a personal spiritual gift within your life, within your path, and the teachings and stuff that they will offer you can make your world a so much better place, okay? I'm not saying that your world will be rosy, but their assistance is a very special thing that, you know, very few people can tap into because they don't take the time to learn it and do it, okay? And it's you know, just a lifelong process that you can develop. So always be thankful. See it as the gift that it is. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.